This is 1 in a Million.
We all have a story to be told. We are all different, young and old. Some are bound for glory, while others want to try. Every road is different, and there's a million stars up in the sky. 1 in a million. You're just 1 in a million. It's the story of the life and times of people all across this land.
Coming up, a life without money.
You could give me $100,000 this moment, and I wouldn't even have a bit of a temptation to take it.
Karl Bazim's hot air hobby.
I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it, but you always feel that if it's a calm day, maybe because I'm in Froese, it's fairly windy here, I always feel if it's a calm day, if I'm not out there flying, it's a wasted day.
And Saskatchewan's trap shooting champion.
1 in a million.
Welcome to the show. Our first story tonight is about a couple near Saskatoon who have chosen an alternative lifestyle, one that fits in with their beliefs about nature and the environment. 31-year-old Joe Froese and his partner Elizabeth have absolutely no use for money.
You could give me $100,000 this moment, and I wouldn't even have a bit of a temptation to take it. I really don't believe that is anything that I want to touch, because I've had it.
6 years ago, Joe owned a prosperous trucking company. He couldn't handle the financial success, so he gave up the business.
I was making too much money. I was traveling all over the world and coming home, and there would always be $10,000 more in my bank account every month, and that wasn't fulfilling anymore. And so I just said, no, stop. And I'm still stopping.
Joe and Elizabeth have created a whole new lifestyle for themselves on their acreage north of Saskatoon. They live on less than $200 a year. They have no power or running water. They've given up all fossil fuels, and they grow their own food. They do all this to simplify their lives.
Yeah, I would say it's been a dream of mine to live as simply as I could and with as little money as I could, and as much in harmony with the earth as I can.
To achieve that harmony, Joe and Elizabeth look to the sun. It's their primary source of energy and something they try and take full advantage of. This is one way they harness the energy of the sun. It's called a solar oven. Joe has built many of these ovens in different sizes. The idea behind them is very simple. They're pointed towards the sun. Reflector panels focus the heat into an insulated box, which quickly heats up to cooking temperatures. Joe believes this simple technology could help solve some of the world's environmental problems.
The earth is crying out for its trees back, and we have to have trees to stop the deserts from developing. And the first step towards saving the forests anywhere is you have to get the energy to come from other sources. And of course, the sun is the cheapest, and it's free for the poor and rich alike.
Joe says most people in our society don't see solar energy as a practical alternative. It just can't compete with the convenience of electricity and natural gas. Even Elizabeth had to adjust to this new method of cooking.
But now that I have, I wouldn't say that it takes a lot more of my personal time to use this. It maybe takes a little bit more thinking ahead, so that you think ahead to have the oven focused so that it's hot when you want to use it.
Joe believes there's a bias against solar energy because we live in a country rich in oil and natural gas.
We're so arrogant and we condescend, everyone that sees a solar oven says, well, that's perfect for the third world. And I keep saying it's perfect for you too. It doesn't matter, you know. We just happen to have the wealth here. But that doesn't mean that we aren't just getting it at the expense of a lot of death-making in the process.
The solar oven symbolizes Joe's philosophy on life. Much of his time is spent building ovens for other people and showing them the benefits of cooking with the sun. His ovens are efficient and cheap to make because a lot of time he constructs them with garbage.
Yeah, we make it out of cardboard, the outside of cardboard, the reflectors, cardboard. This foil, you use the chip bags. It's actually the best mylar you can get. Just like the aluminum in the beer cans it's excellent aluminum. It's made for conducting cold temperatures into your beverage, right? And so we just take and transform it into an oven.
Joe is about to embark on a personal mission. He's volunteering his time and knowledge to help the people of Eritrea, a drought-stricken, war-ravaged country in Africa.
I've committed myself for an indefinite period of time to make them out of local materials and with whatever they have at hand. And that I don't know what that all means, but that's why I'm going to go there, knowing that I can make it work. And we're going to introduce it to, specifically, they want to target hospitals, orphanages. Because of the war, there's so many war victims. They have no trees, famine. They're passing laws that the people can't collect the twigs that are existing. And it takes about 8 to 10 hours a day per one laborer to collect enough cooking wood. And so this is just prime time to go, and that's what I'm going with.
Elizabeth and Joe are self-described nonconformists. They are peace activists and oppose nuclear energy. Elizabeth is in favor of home education, and Joe is a vegetarian. They both have strong beliefs and are always looking for ways to express their viewpoints.
Both of us? Yep.
These days, their main form of transportation is the bicycle. They gave up on cars about a year ago.
I'm not riding a vehicle for a year. I made that decision with the Gulf War there. And so I said, if they're fighting for oil, I'm going to not use oil if I can for a year. Take a fast from the vehicle. I have failed. I have ridden in a vehicle for about 6 miles, and I agreed to take public transportation. But I still continue to ride my bike, and winter and summer, and I'm finding it a joy.
Joe and Elizabeth believe they're doing their small part to help the planet. But they get discouraged when they look around and see what's happening to their world.
2 days ago, I went to Saskatoon. For the first time, I saw that halo, that brown halo that you see when you enter Denver. I've never seen that before entering Saskatoon. But the cars, these whiz by, and then you come to a sign that says this overpass costed $1.8 million, and the city of Saskatoon provided the other $1.8 million. And it's all for cars. And if they would give me even $1 million, I would transform that city into a bicycle city, and there would be incentives for people to ride bicycles.
Joe and Elizabeth have been living like this for almost 2 years. They're proving to themselves they can be self-sufficient. But giving up all modern conveniences hasn't been easy. Recently, they broke down and got a phone.
It was a hard decision to come to, because we felt that it, in some ways, is an intrusion on our lives. But I guess because we are social beings, we needed and wanted that contact with friends and family. And so we came to that decision.
Many people consider the lifestyle Joe and Elizabeth live requires too many sacrifices. As a result, they're out of step with the rest of society.
There are times when you're very alone, because I feel like I might be in the vanguard of some social change with It has to become a lifestyle issue, and I'm just doing an experiment for myself. I'm trying to live what I am talking about, and I'm finding it a joy.
Next, a story about flight and the joys of hot air ballooning. When Swift Current lawyer Karl Bazim wants to get away from it all, he fires up his hot air balloon.
I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it, but you always feel that if it's a calm day, maybe because I'm in Swift Current, it's fairly windy here, I always feel if it's a calm day, if I'm not out there flying, it's a wasted day. Thank you! We're gone!
Karl is one of 5 hot air balloonists in Saskatchewan, and the only one flying out of the windy city of Swift Current.
Swift Current really isn't a preferred area to do it. It's great for landing sites, but because of the generally high winds here, you know, if you had your choices, if you wanted to be a balloonist, do a lot of flying, you wouldn't pick Swift Current. But certainly when the times that you get it when you're in the air, it's a very nice area to fly in because of the coulees and the different landscape that's around here.
Karl's been flying for only a year, but he's been thinking about it for a lot longer than that.
Actually, my brothers and I laugh because they think it all started when we used to get the bags off the dry cleaning and put them over the register in the house and send them up, and to us that was a hot air balloon, but it's just a different way of flying. It's very in touch with the ground. You don't see this from an airplane. We're going to go down to a coulee here. There's a deer right there running right across. You can see him, that mule deer, and you don't see that in an airplane.
Radio, Prairie 142 or 3 final with gear.
Recreational hot air balloons seldom go higher than 8,000 feet. Their speed and direction is totally dependent on the wind conditions. Karl prefers to fly at lower altitudes so he can take in more of the scenery.
You're flying in the morning, a couple hundred feet off the ground. You basically see the world sort of waking up. You hear the farm animals start coming up, the cars going by, the farm equipment starting up. You smell everything. You smell the fields. You smell everything up. You can hear the animals waking up. And that's a very peaceful and a very nice sensation to see. And you'll only get that on ballooning. You won't get that in an airplane.
Tango Kilo November, Swift Current Radio, check the flight balloon, all okay. Swift Current altimeter 3014.
Swift Current Radio, balloon, Whiskey Kilo Juliet, over.
Hot air balloons are considered aircrafts, and pilots must be licensed. For Karl, learning how to fly a balloon helped him overcome his fear of heights.
I personally feel that I have a fear of heights. Like, I don't like standing on top of buildings either, and I thought, well, I'll get myself into this basket and, you know, once I'm in, I'm gone, and I can't do anything about it. But actually, the sensation of taking off is almost like that of an elevator. You don't even know that the balloon is off the ground. There's no sound when it takes off other than the burners, and usually they're gone by the time you're taking off. So it's just sort of this floating away, and then you realize, geez, I guess I'm 1,000 feet in the air, and there's no sensation of movement up there or anything. It's quite a different type of feeling than a jet taking off or a plane.
When people see a hot air balloon for the first time, they're usually impressed by its beauty, but they also wonder about its safety.
The balloon, unless the balloon would have a structural defect in it, it almost has a parachuting effect. So for an example, our balloon, if it would lose all its heating capability, it would come down at 600 feet a minute, which really isn't a lot. It would be a good smack on the ground, but it's not like 120 miles an hour or something like that. You feel very safe up there in the balloon.
Ballooning can be a very personal activity, but pilots have to rely on other people to help them get airborne and to come and get them when they land. When she's not flying, Karl's wife Sarah is the balloon recovery crew. She often follows Karl for miles, traveling over fields and dirt roads. It's her job to pick him up from wherever the wind has carried him.
This is going to be a little bumpy. Carlito.
Sometimes Sarah's father, Kelly, will lend a hand with takeoffs and landings so that she and Karl can enjoy the thrill of flying together.
Do you find it a relaxing sport?
Did you get that? Yes, I do.
A rude sport.
Serene?
Very serene. Actually, I imagine it as being heaven up there. It's very calm. It's nice.
Karl tells me this is a really romantic thing to do. Is that true?
Actually, yes, it is very nice. The only thing that isn't romantic is when you blast the burner. It's nice up there, though.
Yeah, we'd hate to blow the myth that ballooning isn't romantic, but as you've seen, it's got this romantic part, and it's got a lot of hard work to it, too, when you're setting it up and getting it ready to go. But once you're off the ground, the work's over, so you fly, and you're good for about an hour or so, and then back to reality, I guess.
Karl and Sarah draw a great deal of pleasure from ballooning. For them, it's an experience worth celebrating when they touch down at the end of the day.
So where does this tradition start here?
It's from the first balloon flights in France. The first balloonists, when they landed the balloon, the peasants didn't know what it was, so they chopped it up and smashed it up. So since that first balloon flight, the second balloon flight, Frenchmen carried champagne on to show the people that they landed to that they were civilized gentlemen from France. So they always carry champagne on balloons.
Very nice.
And after a good flight and a safe landing, we toasted off with a glass of champagne.
This is a story about a Saskatchewan sharpshooter who's achieved greatness in his sport.
Okay, fresh start. Puller and score ready? Squad ready? Ice front. Pull.
For Boll of Fillmore, trap shooting is a way to escape the stress of farming.
My sport is my relaxing. Even though my sport is intense, I find it relaxing to leave the farm and come and shoot because of the fact that I'm comfortable around shooting now and I know what's going to happen in that. Farming, you never know what's going to happen from one day to the next or 1 week to the next, what the weather is going to do to you. So I definitely find shooting more relaxing than farming.
Well,
Ever since he was a kid, shooting at targets has appealed to Rod.
I hunted with my dad lots when I was a kid. And in small town Saskatchewan, when fall rolls around like now, there's the local turkey shoot. And I used to go out to a little place called West Osage. West Osage had a gun club that was very small to start with, and they had a turkey shoot there every year, and I would go out and take the 870 field gun and shoot at clay targets trying to win a turkey. Well, for a long time I didn't win anything, but eventually I got to the point where I could hit more than one in a row and won the odd turkeys.
Today, he's one of the top trap shooters in Canada.
Pull.
He's won more than 100 different provincial, national, and North American championships since he started competing in the mid-70s. There's only one major event he hasn't competed in, the Olympics.
I would love to shoot in the Olympics, but to shoot in the Olympic type would require weeks on end away from home, and I'm just not ready to make that commitment right now. But this is a sport that you can shoot and shoot competitively till you're 65 years of age, so I have lots of time.
The object of trap shooting is quite simple.
Pull.
Shooters have to hit any part of a clay disc that is hurled through the air at 90 kilometers an hour. Whoever breaks the most targets wins. At Rod's level, missing is a rare occurrence.
Pull. if one was in a serious competition, missing one puts you out of it. In the class that I shoot, missing one target out of 200 is enough to lose. Pull.
To be a success in this sport, you need a good eye and a good gun.
Pull. My gun is what they call a Froese. It's made in Brasilia, Italy. They're custom made for trap shooting. My gun actually was purchased for me by my mom. I had to borrow the money from my mother when I first started out, and she bought it. And over the years, I've done good enough with it that I've been able to pay her back in full plus interest for it. And what they basically are is a 12-gauge shotgun, except that they'll fit a little bit better than a hunting gun. Plus the fact that there's somewhat better wood in them, and they're handmade. So the gun will never lose its value. In the event that I do decide to quit shooting, I can sell the gun for basically what I've paid for it, if not more. I like the gun a lot. I doubt if I'd sell it. I'll probably pass it down in the family. It's been awful good to me. I've shot it since 1980, and I've probably got about 75,000 rounds through it, and it's done pretty good for me.
The sport of trap shooting has been good to Rod. He's traveled, met new people, and has increased his self-confidence. While he's gotten a lot out of it, the sport itself isn't very popular, and it's being threatened even more by the poor economy.
I'd say because of the economy right now, we're probably losing a bit in popularity because of the agricultural situation. A lot of farmers shoot, as I'm one to contest this, that we don't have as much money for recreation anymore. And one of the recreation things that are going to be affected are the slightly more expensive ones, and trap shooting being one of those. Guys will cut back on trap shooting, which is too bad. They have all their equipment in place, but they just don't have the money to come out and do it. Pull.
Oh! Huh! Oh!
Night shooting at gun clubs like this one in Yorkton could be a way to attract more people to the sport.
A lot of people haven't had the opportunity to shoot at night. As you can see, there's quite a few people there that you can't really see behind the lights that are quite interested, because shooting under the lights for Saskatchewan people, there's so few facilities that have the lights that it's a unique experience for most of us, and everybody just flocks to it. Pull.
Rod says there's a big difference between shooting in daylight and shooting under the lights.
For one thing, you see the targets immediately because they're white, so you see them as soon as they come out of the house, and they look real big, and when you hit them nice, they sort of star out like fireworks. It's a lot more impressive at night than it is during the day, although a lot of people have a lot more trouble shooting at night because you have no depth perception at night. It's more like a video game than it is three-dimensional as in the daytime.
Oh!
Pull. Okay, what you do now, look just over the trap house because you're going to see the bird real quick. Take your time on it and shoot right at it.
Rod has passed his love of trap shooting on to his 12-year-old son, Shone.
Boll. Well, it started when I went with my dad to a shoot, me and my mom, before my brother was born, and I just watched, and then Dad encouraged me a little bit, and then I bought myself a gun, like this one, and then I started shooting. It just came on.
Oh!
Boll!
Well, Shone is just starting out this year, and he doesn't shoot really good yet, but there's lots of time. So I'm not pushing him. I'm letting him go at his own speed, and we'll see what happens with him.
Ah! Ah!
In the future, Rod wants to teach trap shooting and work at promoting his sport.
Yeah, good boy. Make a shooter out of him yet, huh?
Go bird.
Oh!
My goal right now is to see shooters come up and get better faster than it took me to get better. I'm probably not that far away from retiring from the competitive part of the sport, just for the fact that I've been in it for 15 years, extremely hard, and the desire is starting to wane somewhat now. So I would think that I'd just as soon help somebody who's on the way up.
That's all the time we have. We enjoy hearing from you. If you have any questions or comments, please write to us. Our address is 1 in a Million, in care of SCN, 8th floor, Chateau Tower, 1920 Broad Street, Regina, Saskatchewan. Postal code S4P3V7. Before we go, here's a look at some of the people you'll be meeting in our show in the weeks ahead. While protecting cowboys is exciting, it doesn't match the thrill of going one-on-one with an angry bull.
To beat a bull, it's like in the bullfights and that no one else can get around or you know, get by for the 70 seconds. If you can beat him, I think it's like scoring a hat trick in the Stanley Cup playoffs or something like that. It's a real high. I'm not crazy. I don't think I'm any crazier than a guy who drives a race car 200 miles an hour or you know, gets in the ring and beats the heck out of each other being a boxer. But I respect what they can do because they can do it very well.
Born to be wild.
For 61-year-old Ken Kenway, there's no greater thrill than hopping on his Harley, heading down the highway. Ken's second greatest thrill in life comes from his work. He's a professional skin artist. Many of today's celebrities and rock groups flaunt their tattoos. It's had a powerful influence on the younger generation. Ken isn't exactly sold on some of the designs his younger clients bring in.
The younger crowd now is all Guns N' Roses and that kind of thing, and I wouldn't want Guns N' Roses on me after I'm 70 years old, I know that.
Watch for those stories and more in the weeks to come. Thanks for watching. I'm Larry Keat, and I'll see you next time on 1 in a Million.